Hey, great Tuesday morning, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Cesar Mascoro Jr. with Manufactured Home Sales Mastery in with our Tuesday edition of 15 Minutes to Mastery, episode number 265, coming at you as we do each and every day to get you some information, inspiration, and motivation to get your day started off on the right foot. And today we're actually talking construction. Today we're giving you some information that's going to help you build value in you as a consultant, and obviously help you build value in your homes, your product, the what you provide, so that you can command the value that you are after. So I know we don't do much of the construction topics, but that is something that is very, very important. And we will be doing more of that as we go along, because I understand that that's also something that is not really trained on all too much. And it's definitely something that I enjoy. For those of you that didn't know, I actually have a background in structural engineering. That's actually what I had gone to school for. I started in architecture, ended up in structural engineering, was designing frames, and framing for residential construction when I first got into the industry back in the early 90s before getting into complete architectural design. But anyway, enough of that. We want to talk about it because what we're talking about today is on center spacing. So many times, right, folks want to talk about how, or they're curious as to the longevity of your home. They're curious as to how well they're built. Are they going to start falling apart? So it's so very important that you, as a housing consultant, understand the construction of the product that you sell. Because, like I said earlier, it's going to help you build value, but it's also going to help dispel a lot of the common misconceptions of manufactured homes. Because people think that the homes are built to an inferior quality, or that they're built using lesser quality materials. And so that's why it's so important that you address that up front when you're first sitting with your potential buyers. And also as you're out and about showing the homes, when you're out showing the display models, or your homes that maybe you have in the community, it's important to get into construction, because that is one of the things that these people are concerned about. So you want to make sure that you've got what you need in front of them to be able to help them better understand. So we've talked about this before. You're aware manufactured homes are built to the HUD standard, right? Their HUD in 1976 implemented what's called a design and safety construction, right? Design and safety standard for construction and manufactured homes. That's why you see that red tag on your homes. That's on the outside. It's single wide. You got one. If it's double or a multi-section home, it's got one for each section of the home. This tag, what it says there is that it certifies that the home has been inspected and it meets the requirements of the Department of Housing and Urban Development, and is constructed in conformance with the federal manufactured home construction and safety standards, right? In other words, the home is built to the federal code that is required, so that that home has the design and safety standards implemented by the federal government. Part of that is the spacing of the floor joists and your wall studs, right? Again, construction. People think the homes fall apart. People think that they're built to lesser quality. So it's really, really important that you are able to explain what this is all about. Okay. So with that being said, we're going to jump into this so you can better understand that. For those of you that maybe haven't really gotten into this. Now, you may have heard already that your floor joists, and most manufacturers now, and I believe all of them at this point, all design and build their homes with their floor joists, which you walk on, right? The floor joist at 16 inches on center. That means that every 16 inches, there is a floor joist. The majority of them are 2x6s. Okay. And these floor joists, what they do is they run over, they're sitting on top of your steel frame of the home. So if it's a single section, you know, you have that steel frame, the I-beams, I should say, the I-beams that run the whole length of the home. And these floor joists are sitting on top of that I-beam. right? Which we've spoken about before, the cambered I-beam that runs the whole length of the floor. To give you a better idea, this is what I'm talking about right here, okay? Now, there are 4 spacings that can be used when it comes to on-center spacing. And so it starts obviously at 24 inches on center, as I said here. Then you go down to 19.2. If you pull open a measuring tape, you open up your measuring tape you've got, and you'll see that every 19.2 inches on center, there is a diamond. That diamond represents that 19.2 inches on center. And I'll get back to that here shortly. But then you go to 16 inches on center and 12 inches on center. And obviously, as you see, the less spacing in between, the more floor joists that you have in underneath that section. The reason that these 4 sizes are used are, one, obviously depending on how long these floor joists have to run in between. And I'll get back to that picture here shortly. But depending on the distance that these floor joists have to run unsupported, in other words, from one I-beam to the next, okay, or whatever they're sitting on, whether it's a header or whatever it may be, depending on how far apart those supporting structures are, that determines how close the floor joists need to be in order to get that strength in the floor. Okay. Now think about this. Okay. The majority, whether it's a single wide or a multi-section home, the majority of them, the I-beams are about 88 inches apart, right? 88 to 90 inches apart. So what that means, right? I'm not good at math, but let's say 88 inches divided by 12, that's a little over 7 feet. A 2x6 by code, a 2x6 floor joist could be every 24 inches apart. But the majority, if not all, builders go to 16 inches to be able to provide a stronger floor and at the same time also help because of the transportation. These homes have to be delivered and they're going to be coming down the road, vibrating the whole way. So they put them closer on center. So they could go 24 inches where you would only have in an 8-foot span 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 floor joists. Most of them go 16 inches on center, which means there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 2 extra 2x6s, 12, 14, 16 foot long, however long they have to be in order for the width of that home. Okay. Now, why is this important? And why 8 foot? Why are we measuring every 8 feet? Well, because you have to understand that these are your floor joists, right? Running 16 inches on center. And the reason 8 foot is because the decking that goes on top is placed perpendicular to it, right? It runs the opposite direction. And those are 8 foot long sheets. So you have to have a floor joist under one of the edges, and there must be another one under the opposite edge. So in order to do that, that on-center spacing has to be such that there is a joist that would be automatically under both of those edges. So going back to the other picture, that's why you see 8 foot distance, and you'll see that there's always a floor joist that would be underneath the edges of that floor decking. And that's why also 19.2 inches on center actually ends up working for 8 feet width or 8 foot distance in floor decking. So getting back to it, they could go 24 inches on center, but they build them at 16. So it's a stronger floor. It's a more solid structure. So there's less likelihood of sagging or warping and things of that nature, right? As there used to be back in the past when there was no design criteria. And with that being said, the same thing with the wall studs. On the outside, all the weight from the roof goes to the outside of the homes because of roof trusses. And we'll get into roof trusses later on down the road when we do some more construction training on this. But that weight all goes to the outside. So because all the weight goes to the outside, those outside studs need to be at 16 inches on center. But the interior walls of your manufactured homes, most of them are 24 inches on center because most of them do not carry weight. That's why. So with it not carrying weight, it's just for the drywall that's on that wall. Okay. and to create the division in the rooms. That's why those wall studs are at 24 inches on center, but your exteriors are always at 16 inches on center, because that is a code requirement, whether it's a 2x4 or a 2x6, whatever size of wall they're building, they're at 16 inches on center on the outside, because the weight of the roofs go to the outside. Your floors, 16 inches on center. Your exterior walls, 16 inches on center. Your interior walls, 24 inches on center in most cases. But get with your manufacturer to figure out what is the way that they build their homes. Because if you can explain this, and then also at the same time be able to explain the fact that with that spacing, now we can put in better quality insulation into their homes, which makes them more energy efficient. So not only are we looking at the construction or the safety part of it, but we're also looking at the energy efficiency of it. Those are the benefits of having that design and safety construction standards, and being able to frame the floors and the walls at 16 inches on center and 24 on the interior. So you're adding to the stability, then the solid construction of your home, right? And you're also adding to the energy efficiency of the home. Two very important points that if you can point them out, and using pictures, using diagrams that they can see for themselves, because I'm huge on show me, don't tell me, right? I could explain this all I want, but think about it. Had I explained this to you without using these diagrams to better, or to make it a little more clear for you, for those that are just going over this for the first time, you'd lose it if I was just talking to you about it. And that's why I use visuals to be able to show, and you should do the same, because that's only going to help prove the point. That's only going to build more value. And it's going to also help your clients understand, because remember, you should not use terminology that they're not going to understand. So just simply telling them the on-center spacing is not enough. You need to show them so that they can better understand it and see the value in the construction of your homes. So what are the best ways for you to be able to get better or learn more about the construction of your homes? You know, there's several different ways. One, obviously, is that you could just attend some sort of workshop or training seminar on construction in your area. Home Depot does a lot of those things from time to time. They do more on construction projects, but sometimes they do on actual construction. So check with your lumber companies in your area and see what they've got going on. You may be able to attend something of that nature to be able to get a little more insight on that. Also, get with your factories. Get with your factories, get your factory rep, and have them come out to your location. If you're in the community space, have them go out to your community. Have them meet with your community managers, or put a class together with the factory rep of the product that you're offering, so that they can come out and speak to your teams about the construction of the home, so they can better explain it and pass on the value through the information to their customers, right? There's always online certifications. LinkedIn has a lot of that stuff. There's a lot of things that you can do online with regards to that. Obviously, you going and doing research on your own. There's factory tours on YouTube from just about every factory as well. They may not get as detailed into it, but at least it gives you a little bit better understanding, so that when you do more research, you're better to pick. It's easier for you to pick up that information and be able to then explain it to other folks, right? And then obviously hands-on experience. You can go out to one of the factories, take a factory tour yourself if there's one near your area within a couple hours, right? Go out and tour the factories, watch how these homes are constructed, and get the information that you need. And lastly, you can always reach out to us here at Manufactured Home Sales Mastery. Construction is our thing. Okay, because that is my background. That is where I started in the housing industry, and just brought all that in with me, and obviously just wrap my head around it, the manufactured home construction process. So it is definitely something that we love getting into. We don't teach as much of it in it because we're mainly focused on the sales training, right? But that is truly a part of the sales process. So we can definitely put something together for you and your teams, whether it's a half day session or a couple hours, half day or a full day on construction. Reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to help. Hopefully this makes it a little clearer for you on the on-center spacing, the benefits of it, and how you can better explain it to your customers. But like I said, if there's something we can help you with, please reach out to us so that we can help you take your life, your business, and your career to a whole new level of manufactured home sales, because that is what we're here to do. You guys have a great Tuesday. Get on out there and do some great things. Don't forget today, folks, we have our marketing and sales training for the community space, confidence in community. We'll be doing it in conjunction with Brandon Meat from Lead Crossing. That's from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. today, 1 p.m. 3 p.m. Central Daylight Time. You can still go and get registered. Go to our website, manufacturedhomesalesmastery.com. You can register there for the webinar for anyone in the community, or if you're in the retail space but want to learn a little bit more about how to present the community offer, you want to get in on that webinar as well. So look forward to seeing you guys later this afternoon on that. Have a great Tuesday. And as always, I can't wait to meet you.